Okay, here we have the new Maisi M20 dash cam with GPS. So I'm just going to unbox it. So that's obviously the GPS tracker. Window mount. Not sure. Okay, nice good quality manual. Hopefully this one is in proper English, not broken Chinese into English, which makes no sense. Okay, so that's obviously our dash cam. Really nice looking. Looks really good quality too. Yeah, HDMI port on the side and a USB. Power buttons. SD card slot at the bottom. So this extra pad then I'm assuming is for the window. So your GPS and Wi-Fi fits in there. And nice to see the power supply is an independent micro USB. Right, and as if by magic they've all come out of their bags. So that's obviously a suction cup, suction even. Spare one of them. GPS. Nice super long cable. And your basic one. So, right, I'm going to just get myself an SD card and then we'll power it up. Right, I've got myself an SD card. Took longer than I thought because I obviously had to get a power cable as well, which I never thought about. As you can see, I've plugged the GPS box in to the side. So we're going to power it on. That was quick. Okay, so we've got various different points on the screen. Obviously that's in camera mode, there's power, SD card, and that's probably sound. No, sound's over here because I've knocked it off because of the annoying beeps. Right, so we'll have a little look see at the menus. So we've got video resolution, and of course this is proper HD, so it's 2560 by 1080, and the others are 2304 by 1296, 920 by 1080, joking HD, HDR 1920 180, and obviously the 720. I'm going for the max. Image quality, fine, super fine and normal. I actually don't know what these are, so it's probably if it takes a snapshot then it'll be in that meter mode settings. So this is obviously the focus point, so certainly average spot, center. Light frequency, auto 60-50. In the UK we tend to be around the 50 mark. Date stamp on. EDAS detect. I'm knocking this off. Basically what that is an assisted driver section. So if you've been driving more than 4 hours, it'll warn you that you're getting sleepy, or if you've taken a lane that you shouldn't be in. Well, actually then I will put that on because I got caught in a bus lane once by accident. So as loop settings, that's obviously the recording time, 1, 3 and 5 minutes. I like mine on 5. Speed setting, kilometers per hour, miles per hour. Time zone, obviously that's the time zone depending on which country you're in. This is obviously the light balance, so less would be darker, more brighter. Speed warning settings, 50 or 75 mile an hour. Leave that off. LED settings, so that's basically all of these around, so I'll leave that on for now. G sensor, that's if you're in a crash, it'll censor the crash and then save the files, so it'll be permanently saved on the SD card. I tend to knock this off because generally if you're in a crash, you know you're in a crash. So, and if you've got a big enough SD card now, you won't have to worry about it. Motion detection, that's off. So, next menu over. Language, English, Chinese, Japanese, Russian, all guesses, English. Right, record mode settings, auto record or manual. So basically auto is when you get into the car and you start it, power supply goes straight to the camera and it starts recording. System mode in the UK, PAL. Driver ID settings, that's obviously to add your number plate. It will then be stamped onto the video. Time settings, that's the UK time at the moment. Format the SD card. Just making sure now, even though I know the cards is empty. Some cameras I found will not function unless the actual camera does the format itself. Well, default settings, return everything back to factory. Backlight settings, this is when you get in, it'll start recording, so you can either have it to stay off, stay on for a minute, stay on for 3 or 5. We'll go for a minute. Delay power off, so once the car engine's off and the power to the cigarette lighter stops, you can have it to record for a certain length of time after you've left, so 15 seconds, 30 seconds or a minute. This then will run off the power of its internal battery, which generally isn't great. I suppose it's basically just a small backup battery to save time and things like that. Beep settings, I've knocked that off because they are annoying. And that's your firmware version then if you wanted to check on the website. So these are your up and down record and menu buttons on the side. So you've got 3 LEDs there. So red power, blinking is record, green is GPS. So, and I've set it to miles per hour. So to stop the record, obviously you just hit the record button. To restart, push the record button. You can't access the menu until it's stopped, but if you are recording and you hit the menu button, it'll go into event mode. Now generally this is a video that can't be deleted unless you format it. For example, if it's going to be in a collision, but I've always found this weird because you can't predict when you're going to be in a crash. So I suppose that button is irrelevant. So we'll stop that. And the up and down while in pause mode will go to photo mode. That's the internal memory then of what you've recorded. Back to camera mode, automatically starts recording. Right, well I think that's about it with regards to the actual fiddly bits and buttons. There's your SD card slot, a reset button, that's your power on, little hole over there, so I'm assuming that's the microphone. Right, I'll stop the video now and add some actual footage from the camera. I'll try and get as many different environments as possible, so sunny, rainy, night, day, and then we'll be back again at the end.
This section hasn't been open that long.
No, this is not to be so busy.